What's up, everybody? Youth1 Football Director here, Ryan Oliver. I am joined by 2023 quarterback Kyle Valdez. Kyle, thanks for joining me, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure to have you. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your experience playing quarterback. You were a member of our freshman 450. But first, I want to ask you how you're holding up during this whole quarantine situation we're dealing with in our society.
I'm doing good. Just putting in work. Private training was QB Elite. Uh, Weightlifting, KG strength, private gyms.
Yeah, you're doing your best to stay active. Now, Kyle, you are one of the elite prospects in your class. I remember last year when I was putting together a freshman 450, I watched so much quarterback film. You won't believe how much film I watch. But the quarterbacks that make our freshman 450 are the cream of the crop in the freshman class. And I've seen your most recent film. You've only gotten better since then. What does making the freshman 450 and kind of having the accolades that you've achieved, what does that say about you as a football player?
Just putting in work. Uh,
Well, the hard work's paying off. I mean, that's what it says to me. And I can see your progression from when I first saw your film even till now. How long have you been playing the quarterback position?
uh, since third grade, fourth grade.
What do you enjoy about the position specifically? Like what makes you drawn to play that position?
Competition. Mm, People looking up to me as a leader. I just like Lamar Jackson running the ball and throwing it.
Yeah, well, I know that that's a quarterback that you've kind of like compared your game to a little bit. Is Lamar Jackson your favorite player?
Yeah, sure.
Wh- What is it about him that's kind of drawing you to him?
His footwork, how fast he is, how comfortable he is in the pocket, and his accuracy when throwing the ball.
Yeah, for sure. And so, well, what are some of your strengths on the football field? What do you think you're like really good at?
Mm, Long ball, uh, staying calm in the pocket, um, moving away from rush, throwing on the run.
Yeah, well, I was watching your most recent film, and something that really stood out to me was your ability to kind of evade pressure. That when it comes at you in the pocket and kind of scramble outside, but also reset your feet to throw a really accurate ball downfield. That's kind of like a unique ability, especially at your age. The quarterbacks that I see do that are typically the best of the best in your class because you're growing, you're still young, but to be able to kind of feel the pressure, step, get out the pocket, but throw like a pinpoint deep ball is very impressive. Have you been working on things to like strengthen your arm and to keep your feet in sync with your arm and things like that?
Yes, QB Elite usually works on it. I'll just have like weights or something, just moving in the arm. Just,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's paying off. I can see the
yeah,
progress that you've made, and I think it's a really impressive ability. And I think your arm talent is really superb. So great work there. What is something that you bring to your team? I know you mentioned leadership. What kind of presence do you have in the locker room?
getting everybody riled up, and getting everybody focused for the game.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, your dad had mentioned to me that you can be a bit of a goofball once people really get to know you. Is that true?
Yeah,
That's cool, man. It's always good to mix that balance of like knowing to be a certain way in the locker room, but also being able to be goofy. At times is always good. So, what areas of your game are you really working to improve right now? We know your arm strength is elite. We know that you have good footwork and all that stuff. Are there any areas you have identified you want to really work on?
working on quicker release, um, more better touch on the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And one thing I noticed, another strength of yours was I was impressed with your ability to kind of fit the ball into tight windows.
yeah,
There won't be a big area for you to throw the ball in to like get it to your receiver, but you'll put it in a location where your receiver can get it, but the defender can't get it. So it's either you're gonna make the play or it's gonna be an incompletion, but at least you're not turning over the ball. And
yeah.
that's very impressive as well. So Kyle, I wanted to ask you about what are your long-term goals for yourself?
Getting to college, getting a degree, going to looking to go to the NFL.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned to me previous to this interview that you're switching schools. That's correct.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the change you're making school wise and why that will benefit you going forward.
Um, East kind of has a running game, which I like. Alta didn't really have that, and more talent with the 6A high school, bigger schools to play.
Do you anticipate yourself being the starter?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Well, that's awesome. I'm excited to kind of follow your progress and see how that turns out for you. Kyle, I want to switch gears a little bit and ask you about some non-related football things. What is something that you like to do for fun? Some things you like to do for fun outside of football?
Um, Watch movies with the family. Uh, I like staying in shape, just running miles, going on hikes, friends and stuff.
That's awesome, man. Those are all good things. I mean, staying in shape is important, especially now with us kind of stuck in the house. Well, I'll tell you one last thing I want to know. I want to know what kind of music you listen to, man. What kind of music you listen to?
Hip hop, rap.
Okay, who do you like? Who's your favorite?
Drake. I like 88 Glam.
Okay. That's awesome, man. Well, Drake's always a good way to go. I'm not familiar with the other person, but but Drake's a good way to go, man. Well, Kyle, thank you for taking the time out to do this interview. Again, I'm Youth1 Football Director Ryan Oliver. This is 2023 quarterback Kyle Valdez.